Have you ever found yourself just completely overwhelmed right in the middle of a crucial business analysis or research project? You know exactly that feeling, right? Drowning in this massive sea of raw data, frantically hunting for a lost citation the night before a huge deadline, or maybe just staring blankly at your screen trying to figure out how to even begin running a complex statistical analysis. It's a chaotic reality that honestly so many of us face. But what if I told you that managing modern research doesn't have to be this disorganized scramble? What if you could build a structured digital workbench that actually does the heavy lifting for you?
Well, welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're tuning in. Today, our mission is to take what might normally seem like a dry, highly technical list of software programs and completely transform it into a highly practical, incredibly empowering toolkit for your business research. The right software is a total game changer. We're going to dive into understanding the different software types, from the foundational stuff like Microsoft Office to specific analytical apps like SPSS, R, and Tableau. We'll also cover tools for data collection, reference management, and the crucial ethical considerations tying it all together. Let's build your ultimate digital research workbench.
Okay, let's take a quick look at our agenda for today. First, the digital research landscape. Second, foundation and data collection. Third, crunching the numbers. Fourth, organizing sources and citations. And finally, number 5, identifiers and research ethics.
Section 1. The digital research landscape. Understanding the core software types. So before we start installing any specific apps, we really need to understand the overarching categories of our digital workbench. Think of your research toolkit kind of like a well-organized factory. System software, things like Windows or Mac OS, well, that's your factory floor. It runs the entire shop and supports the operation of literally all your research tools. Then you step up to application software. These are your everyday tools, like web browsers or Microsoft Office, which handle your daily tasks and help you compose reports, organize data, and manage your schedule. And finally, you've got the heavy machinery, the data analytical software. Programs like SPSS, R, and Tableau. These do the serious statistical heavy lifting, processing massive data sets so you can uncover those hidden patterns, accelerate business outcomes, and actually drive informed decision-making.
Moving right along to Section 2, Foundation and Data Collection, Building Your Base.
Let's look at our foundational tools and see how this builds our base for actually gathering that raw data. Because this is where the real work begins. When it comes to laying the foundation, Microsoft Office is basically the everyday workhorse for researchers. It's this incredibly versatile suite that covers nearly every base you can think of. You've got Word for drafting and securely citing your research papers with all the advanced formatting you need. You have Excel, which is just a total powerhouse for your initial data analysis, letting you use pivot tables, formulas, and charts to really filter and visually comprehend your data. Then PowerPoint steps in to help you communicate those findings to stakeholders or maybe at conferences. And hey, let's not forget OneNote, acting as your ultimate digital notebook for organizing all those scattered ideas and references into one centralized hub.
But look, once that foundation is set, we actually need the data itself. In business research and the social sciences, tools like Qualtrics and Google Forms act as these secure digital nets, capturing survey responses. Qualtrics, in particular, is just an incredible online survey tool. It comes loaded with survey wizards, built-in graphics, and statistical tools to evaluate your results right there on the platform. And for business research, this is huge. It stores your proprietary data on highly secure servers with limited access permissions. That is an absolute must for modern data privacy and for protecting your competitive advantage.
All right, Section 3, Crunching the Numbers, Advanced Data Analytics.
So, you've gone out and collected thousands of survey responses. What exactly do you do with all that raw data? Well, it's time to fire up the analytics engines of our toolkit. For a lot of folks in business and the social sciences, SPSS is the absolute go-to. It stands for a statistical package for the social sciences. And what makes SPSS so fantastic is that it takes incredibly complex mathematical tests, things like ANOVA, factor analysis, and regression models, and just makes them accessible. You input your variables like mean, mode, and median, the software figures out the relationships between them, and then it outputs these beautiful tabulated reports and charts. And the best part? It does all of this through a super straightforward graphical user interface. You literally do not need to be a computer programmer to run a complex regression model here.
Now I want you to notice the stark contrast between two other major analytical tools we use, R and Tableau. On one side, you have R. It is an open-source, code-heavy powerhouse used for intense statistical computing and machine learning. Yeah, it definitely has a steeper learning curve, but its flexibility is pretty much unmatched for really robust analysis.
Then, on the exact opposite end of the spectrum, you've got Tableau. Tableau is all about visual analytics. It uses this brilliant drag-and-drop interface to create interactive dashboards. Absolutely no coding required. It allows business leaders and researchers to intuitively explore complex data trends visually and then instantly share those insights across the entire organization.
Section 4. Organizing sources and citations. Managing the chaos.
Let me ask you a quick question. Have you ever lost a crucial citation the night before a major deadline or a huge board presentation? We've all been there, and let's be honest, it is a total nightmare. The very first step to managing this chaos is actually finding reliable sources in the first place, and we do this using indexed databases. Think of platforms like Google Scholar, Scopus, Web of Science, ProQuest, and EBSCO as these massive, highly organized, searchable filing cabinets for academic papers and industry research. Indexing uses standard signs or measures to filter data, making it incredibly easy for researchers to quickly track down peer-reviewed articles, gather data, and really build out a robust literature review.
And once you actually find those papers, you need a place to put them, right? Enter reference management tools like Zotero and Mendeley. These are essentially your automated filing clerks. These tools let you save sources directly from your web browser, literally saving you hours of tedious manual formatting. They organize your PDFs, they automatically generate your inline citations and bibliographies, and they seamlessly integrate right into Microsoft Word. Plus, the whole shebang syncs to the cloud. That means your entire research library is available across all your devices, which makes collaborating with your team an absolute breeze.
Which brings us to Section 5, Identifiers and Research Ethics, Publishing with Integrity.
Because great research isn't just about finding the answers, it's about publishing them with absolute integrity and leaving a permanent mark on the academic and business world. When you publish, we rely on a few really critical acronyms. Let's do a rapid-fire sequence here, starting with ORCID. An ORCID is an Open Researcher and Contributor ID. It's basically a persistent digital identifier for you, the individual researcher. If you have a common name, or maybe if you change your name during your career, your ORCID ensures that every single piece of research you contribute to is properly recognized and tied directly back to you.
Next up is the DOI, or Digital Object Identifier. While the ORCID is the fingerprint for you, the researcher, the DOI is the permanent digital fingerprint for the actual published document itself. It is a highly unique link or code that ensures no matter where a research paper moves around on the internet, that link is always going to help you find and access that specific document.
And to finish up our rapid fire, we have the ISSN and ESSN. This is the unique identifier used specifically for indexing the actual journals and periodical publications where your research lives. So together, ORCID, DOI, and ISSN ensure this flawless, trackable web of academic and business publishing.
So, the absolutely crucial point here is that wielding all these powerful software tools requires strict adherence to ethical guidelines. Technology makes it way easier to collect and analyze data, sure, but it also makes it easier to copy it. We absolutely must prioritize plagiarism prevention. Furthermore, when using tools like Qualtrics in business research, we have a fundamental obligation to maintain strict data privacy for our participants and respect all intellectual property rights. This isn't just some administrative box to check, it is the absolute foundation of trust in your findings.
To wrap up our explainer today, I really want to leave you with this core thought. Research software is not just about numbers and statistics. It's about making the research process smoother, clearer, and ethical. These applications, from Microsoft Office to SPSS, from Zotero all the way to your ORCID, they are not technological burdens. They are vital career accelerators. They free you up to focus on what actually matters, generating meaningful business insights, saving incredible amounts of time, and effectively communicating your findings to the world.
So as you look at your own workflows right now, I have to ask, how are you going to upgrade your own digital research toolkit today? Which of these tools will you implement in your very next big project so you can stop drowning in data and start mastering it? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, happy researching.